if you have a fear of doing something, but doing that something or doing that thing is required in order for you to accomplish the goals you have, the best thing you can do to overcome that fear is to do it now. To do it as many times as you possibly can until that is no longer a fear in your head. Okay? That's the truth. That's what sucks to hear. That is the unfortunate thing about fear, is the only way to overcome that fear is by doing it. Now, I know this firsthand in a lot of different ways. None better, no better example than doing demos. Doing cold brew coffee demos. I'm just getting out of a 3-hour demo right now. It's a lot of work. It is just, no, I shouldn't say it's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy. Talking to customers, providing information, giving feedback, just standing on your feet on a concrete floor for 3 hours it just takes a lot out of you. Especially in the very time in the afternoon when you're going through a crash, just a downward crash. Now, like I said, I just spent the last 3 hours demoing our Busy Cold Brew double espresso shots. When I first started working for Busy back in, 2019, I was doing a lot of demos. I was doing a lot of demos of our concentrates. Back in college, I was doing a lot of demos of our concentrates. And then when our RTDs, our ready to drinks, came out, I was doing a lot of demos for that as well. And I hated it. I was not good at that point in time in getting told no. Getting told, yeah, I mean, very simple. Like, I took personally being told no on far too many occasions. So that caused me to not enjoy the experience, not enjoy people, because I saw the next person as somebody that was just going to shut me down, somebody that would just not be interested, and it got to me. And that is so weak. I was so weak-minded for that. But through just like doing it time after time after time, and then taking a break from it, because I've obviously, well, not obviously, but I've been pretty clear on here that I took a break from working at Busy for a little over a year. Now returning back and being in stores and doing samples and demos, that fear is completely gone. Like, I actually enjoy it. I don't take it personally, which I think is huge. Oh, I'm eating now. But instead, I just see it as like, they just don't like coffee. That's it. Or it's what is it? It's now 6:10, 6:11. It's just too late in the day. People have their reasons. They don't even need to give you a reason. That reason might be they think you're a dummy and they hate you. Who cares? Because when you hear no, time and time and time again, it stops having power over you. It stops making you feel small or making you feel insecure or making you feel less than, because you've just heard it so many times before. And on top of that, I think this, really beneath this, is that I am secure in who I am. And I'm also very confident in the product. So whether or not somebody likes it or not, it's preference. You know, it's their opinion. It's their subjective experience of what I'm presenting to them. They don't have to like it. In fact, if everybody liked it, I would be concerned, because one, I wouldn't trust it. And two, when I do find that person that enjoys the coffee, it is such a, like, it's a coming together feeling. It is sharing in the experience of how the product benefits their everyday life. Or I get to show them and present them a new experience of a great tasting thing that they've never had before, and watch how that changes them. And that to me is the thing it is one of the things that I love most about the running that I do, that I'm so connected to, is I really enjoy seeing people do something extremely hard for the first time that they never thought that they could have done before. And to see that change, that was what was so cool about Run and Plunge, is we were like 50% newcomers every week. Every week, 50% of the crowd was new. And to watch the faces of people showing up, not knowing what to expect, but knowing that there was something difficult waiting for them, was cool to witness. And then watch as that pressure and those nerves started to build up over the 4 miles that led to the ice hole that we would plunge in. And then when we'd get there, it's like the moment of truth. This is what we've all come to do. This hard thing, you either do it or you don't. And there's that social pressure there of like, well, you kind of have to do it. You showed up, you're here, you'd be the only one not doing it. We obviously encourage people to be safe, so no one ever feels forced to do it. But that experience of when they get in the cold, it shocks their system, they get out, they start putting on their layers again, and you just see this like sense of incredible relief and pressure being lifted off their shoulders, and you can see it in their facial expression. They get relaxed and they're smiling, and you know, they'll say like, wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought. And that moment, if I could wrap up everything that I do in running, everything that I do with the last person standings, with the arrowheads, with the Love Like Lori charity runs, with the calendar clubs, if I could use what I do, if what I do encourages somebody else to find that for themselves, if they see the level of intention that I put into doing that for myself, and then getting to a place and like Arrowhead and saying like, wow, that absolutely crushed me. I felt broken. I felt so I was so confronted to this idea of who I thought I was, and then I met the person that I actually was, and being open about that and sharing that journey and sharing that process and sharing the moment of that realization. That's not easy to experience, because you're basically putting this mirror up to yourself and you're saying, you aren't who you think you are. And at the same time, the fact that you stayed in it, that you kept going through it, means that you are exactly who you think you are. And so it's this incredibly humbling experience. And also at the same time, it gives you a sense of empowerment that is like foundational, not a boisterous or peacocking type of confidence, but in a way that like brings you peace, because you don't have to wonder, you don't have to think. And it doesn't end there. Like, if I just closed the chapter on running altogether because I experienced Arrowhead, I wouldn't be doing myself justice. I wouldn't be doing myself the service that I intend, which is, what is that next Arrowhead for me? And let's be clear, you don't have to always try and like notch it up and ramp it up and put yourself in these dangerous, uncomfortable situations. Not that it's technically dangerous, but you have to live your life in the everyday, knowing that these big opportunities will come up and you are faced with an obstacle. You are faced with this decision to decide, to make a choice about what you do in the toughest of moments. And that to me is something that I always want to strive to create. And I always want to strive to encourage other people to put themselves in those situations. So I've always said this, like, I don't give a crap if you are the type of person where your arrowhead is a 5K. If your arrowhead is a 5K, then that is amazing. You know that about yourself. But you must be willing to put yourself there and understand that this is where you're at, and you can do that. I can do arrowhead right now. What's the next thing I can do? Or I'll put it this way. I can't do a Moab 240. I can't do Cocodona 250. Well, I guess it's not that I can't. I just haven't done it yet. In the same way that you can do a 5K. You just haven't done it yet. Until you do it, don't say you can't. And until you've tried 100 times, don't say you can't. And I think that's the message. Like, you just haven't done it yet. And are you willing to be honest with yourself? Are we willing to be honest with ourselves and come to an understanding that we aren't as good as we are? We're not as good as we think we are. We could be so much more than we are. And what are we willing to do about that? Are we going to put excuses? Are we going to say, I just don't have the time, the energy, the effort, the motivation, the pleasure, the desire, the circumstances, like that list could go on forever. That list goes on forever. But it doesn't have to. All you have to make is one choice. Go and do it. See how it feels. And if it's absolutely hell, then you got to work up to it. And if you might surprise yourself, you might get done and be like, wow, I spent my whole life afraid of that thing. And it wasn't even that bad. Like, the doing the thing is always less frightening than how we make it out to be in our minds. And so, who are you really protecting yourself from? What are you protecting yourself from? Well, anyway, I started with sampling and ended up here. Something to consider. Whatever your heart is, I don't care. I do care, but I don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody actually cares about what I'm doing either. So whether or not you go out and do that 5K, whether or not you go out and run that marathon, doesn't affect me. At the end I will sleep at night. I want you to be able to do that. I hope and wish and pray that you will, because I know how transformative it is and will be to your spirit, your self-image, to the strength that you have that you don't even know you have. But it's like, it's a cliche, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And you deserve to experience that. Why you deserve to experience that type of confidence, that type of self-empowerment, that type of peace of mind, freedom. You deserve to feel that. You deserve to experience that. Do the thing you're afraid of. And do it time and time and time and time again. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And take your power back. That's all I got for you.